Hello builders, and welcome back to the World Zoo Project, a giant zoo where I have fit a habitat for every animal in the game. If you are new to the channel, this zoo features 16 different areas built over 21 months over on Twitch. And yes, my computer cries for the sweet release of death every time I force it to load this thing. And if you want to punish your computer too, then this zoo is ready and waiting for you on the Steam Workshop. So go ahead and click the link below if you want to see if your computer can handle this or if it will burst into flames as well. And while you're in the description, make sure to click the link for my Twitch channel and come say hi to me over there as well. I usually like to play nice chill building games like Planet Zoo, so you'll be in good company if you like Planet Zoo too. Now enough of talking about all that. In today's video, as you can probably tell from the thumbnail, it's all about the Nile Lechwe, a small habitat going into our African section right beside the African food court from an earlier video of mine. And if you want to see that video, I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. But let's get on to the building now, shall we? Now, as I said before, this is going to be built beside our food court and our train station, so you'll see a bit of that in the background as we build. But first things first, I am going to be creating a dual building, one that will allow guests to see the Lechwe from a different angle, and will also double up as a barn for our animals to sleep in. And of course we will include one-sided glass so that the guests aren't bugging the Lechwe too much while they are dozing off to sleepland in their barn. For a building style, I am going to be replicating a lot of the old mud brick and wood techniques I've been using for a lot of the other African builds. As well, I want every build to be a little bit more unique. I want the African section, of course, to have a general theme, so by using the same pieces, we can keep that theme going. Now, there are a lot of animals in this game that do not have wall art that we can decorate with, but these guys definitely do, and I want to take advantage of the fact that I have this nice large wall here. So I put the Lechwe in this little water environment, kind of mimicking the fact that they are semi-aquatic and they love to swim and forage around in the water. Definitely though, murals I find are not my strong suit, but I do try. Let me know what you think of this one, or if there's anything about you would change. But with the mural complete, now it's time to add in a few extra little details here and there, and then I will copy a couple walls and we will start creating the barn for the Nile Lechwe. Or is it Lechwe? It's spelled with a we, but I feel like it's pronounced with a way. Wee-way. I don't know, let me know in the comments down below how I should be saying it. I'm probably going to continue saying it Lechwe, although I might occasionally slip up once in a while in this video and say Lechwe. I don't know, let me know in the comments down below if I'm saying it right or wrong. Maybe both are wrong and I'm just a complete idiot. I'm sure someone on the internet will love to correct me on my pronunciation or my spelling, because the internet just seems to be built that way. So now that this building is mostly complete, we can now get working on the rest of the habitat. And we'll start by copying a wall that I had built previously for another habitat. Again, for the same reasons before, I want to try and link this area of the zoo together. So by reusing some parts, it all helps with that goal. Besides, this fence has a nice little overhang on it that will give guests some shade, so while they are eating they might just want to come up to this fence and look out at the animals and get a lovely bit of shading from that nice African sun. Now I'm going to take a little bit of a break here and we're just going to enjoy some nice, gentle and relaxing rock work as we place the rocks throughout the habitat, getting that strong foundation in for the Nile Lechwe so we can create this nice tropical river habitat for them. just like that, all the rock work is complete and we can start doing the plants for the rest of the habitat. We'll start by doing that big old jungle wall in the back, making it look like there is more to this habitat than there really is, at least from the guest perspective. When guests are staring at this and they see that rock wall with all those plants in the background, it just makes them feel like there's, well, like I said before, there's more going on than there really is. It's a facade used in other zoos and theme parks around the world, and hey, it works. At least then, it makes everything look a little bit more natural. After all, I try to minimize the use of fencing around my zoo and try to incorporate more natural barriers to the habitats whenever I can. Of course, it's not always possible, but at least the vast majority of my habitats are built with more natural barriers such as this one. As for the plants, you can see that this is going to be a very water-based habitat with this large river running through it. I absolutely love decorating waterways in this game. Just something about the way the lily pads and the reeds look, it just makes the habitat look so full of life when you contrast it with that lush river flowing through the habitat. A little side note about this river, it's actually flowing in from the flamingo habitat next door and starts off with a large waterfall exhibit in that habitat. And it will then continue on into our giant safari, which will be coming out on the channel eventually as well. And I'm never done with the rock work. There are always more rocks to be laid in the habitat. I always try and squeeze in a few extra while I'm building all the trees, because what like I say, I like placing rocks. Rocks are beautiful and they make a habitat just look that much better. So by that logic, more rocks equal more good. Although as much as I love rocks, on their own they are kind of a little boring, so we need to add in a few extra details, such as these little piles of grass going in and around the edges of the cliff. It just helps break up the boring old rock, especially when the rock is just sitting flat against the terrain. It just needs a little bit something extra to help it pop out against the environment. And because I'm really going for that overgrown and natural look, I decorate the fencing with a few extra bushes around here. Although in reality I know if this was a real habitat, the Nile Lechwe would probably have eaten or nibbled on all those bushes and they wouldn't be growing so lushly. But that's fine. We'll just pretend that we overfeed the Lechwe some proper food and they're not tempted to nibble on all those plants. And now, as we near the end of the video and gear up for that final cinematic road tour, I want to thank you all for watching this far. I hope you enjoyed this one. This was a rather quick habitat build, as it was, well, it was a rather small one. But hey, I still think it turned out beautiful in the end. After all, it's not the size of the habitat, it's what's inside of it that counts. Or something like that. I'm sure there's some other way I could word that saying, but you know what, I'm leaving it in, one take, boom, done. Anyways, moving on from that, let me just remind you that if you want to download this zoo, it is available on the workshop now. And for those of you who may not have the most strongest computer, I have actually split the zoo into two pieces, a left side and a right side. So if you're a little worried about downloading the whole thing, go ahead and try downloading those halves as well. All that will be in the description for you to enjoy. And speaking of stuff in the description to enjoy, why don't you click my Twitch channel? There, how was that for a segue? Haha, nailed it. Anyways, feel free to click that, come join me on Twitch, and come say hello if you like building things. But enough of all that self-promotion, this habitat is complete and so is this video, so let's enjoy a cinematic road tour. Well builders, have a good one, goodbye!